welcome back to my channel. So this video is a little out of the ordinary for me, but it's been a theme of the last, let's go with month and change of my life, and it'll impact my future for the next year and a half. So I feel like I needed to talk about it and just give you a little bit of insight, you know, especially since I document my health journey with perimenopause and with like my hormonal stuff and weight loss and all that kind of stuff. It makes total sense that, you know, naturally you would talk about exercise or movement or mobility and, you know, everything. And there is a major elephant in the room with me when it comes to that. So this video, we're going to talk about my back. I've touched on this in other videos before. I have advanced degenerative disc disease. I have lumbar spinal stenosis, and I have permanent mobility loss in my L4, L5, which is in your lower back. I have advanced degenerative disc disease, which means I have degenerative disc disease, which essentially means that in my spine, there are multiple discs that are degenerating. And the concern with, just for like, to keep this short and sweet in terms of like the story time of it. So the catalyst for this, like the first time I ever had any kind of inkling, I was 32 years old. I was in spin class and my back gave out. If you've ever done a spin class, the push and tap thing, I would spin every day, sometimes multiple times a day. I love me a spin class. And I was really, really active. I was in the best shape of my life for like 2 years. I did spin, Pilates, and bar. To this day, I miss my ass of my 32-year-old ass. Was the best ass I'd ever had in my life. It took about 8 months to get surgery. It took about 4 months to get an MRI. It was one of those things where, because I technically didn't have a medical history, they kind of check off all the lower hanging fruit options first. So you do a CAT scan, you do an x-ray, you do, you know, tramadol, like basic pain management, and absolutely nothing was working. I was in complete like blackout level pain. I wasn't sleeping. I mean, I say this a lot, but everything that I deal with, the thing I wish on no one is back problems, because when it's this severe, it's never out of your mind. You have a good day, you have bad days. But even on the good days, it's like it's never lost, you know? I wind up, long story short, I have surgery in July of 2018. That surgery recovery, just dreadful. Like when you have surgery in your spine, essentially, first off, it's outpatient. So I left the hospital the same day. So if you've seen like my tummy tuck videos, I have a bunch of people that'll comment that live outside the United States that are like horrified that that this is outpatient. And I always thought, like, get a load of this. Like, if you think this is bad, wait till they have spine surgery. So the post-surgical future of mine had to look a lot different. Like, I had to quit my job. I sleep in a fully adjustable Tempur-Pedic bed in like zero gravity. We have made massive changes to accommodate our life, my life, our future. It's one of those things where even as far as the garden is being designed, and the greenhouse and like all the pathways are being designed in case I'm in a wheelchair at one point. So like everything's going to be ADA compliant when we make the changes to the property. Again, this is longer term stuff, but just to kind of contextualize like how serious this is for me. So about a month ago, I was taking a walk. We live in the country. It's kind of nice. It's like really hilly. It's really country. It's awesome. In an effort to find a lower impact cardio option, I decided to start taking walks, especially because, you know, it's super hot here and like it's kind of nice to get outside first thing in the morning before it's like 300 degrees outside. And I was fine on the walk. My toes were bothering me, but that was because I thought my shoes sucked. Fine on the walk. I get home and my back is really messed up. So I do some yoga, I do something like I pull it out, I do like, you know, down dog and child's pose, and I do like all the whole suite of those kind of things. And it doesn't let up. It winds up actually getting worse. And for me, that looks like I'll notice immediate mobility issues. Like I can't do certain things anymore. Certain things will tweak. You just have limited mobility. Like I can do things for less time, less weight, stuff like that. Just everything kind of shrinks. And then the other thing is, and this is the big problem with me, is I have a very high pain tolerance. So when I feel anything bad, it's worse than it should be for it to register for me. I just thought maybe I tweaked it. Maybe it was, I don't know. I was just taking it easy, which I really struggle with taking it easy. So it's just a mess. But we get to a day where I can't sit down anymore, like at all. Like we go to dinner and I'm like, with friends, and I'm like awkward. I'm like in a modified runner's lunge, like half ass off a bench seat with my leg pushed back. That brings me to, I couldn't sit down, and then I stopped being able to lay down. which is really hard when you want to sleep. So I wind up literally, it looked like I had been launched, like someone slingshotted me out of bed. I just like this shooting, throbbing, burning pain, and I am out of bed. And I'm doing this weird dance for like 45 minutes, trying to like find some degree of comfort that I could maintain. You know what I mean? Where it's like, does this hurt? You're just trying to do the thing. And then we went to go to the emergency room. I try to get an MRI there. The tech's not there. Can't get an MRI. And I know from my personal experience, I need an MRI, right? Like I know that. And because this pain is sciatic, which is different than the last time. The last time it was just lower back, not just, but you know what I mean? This is sciatic. And then the big deal for me this time was it was radiating down to my toes. So if you know nothing about back problems, a huge red flag is if you have radiating pain, especially to your toes. And that, because it indicates a bunch of different things, right? And you want to rule out like nerve severing. You want to rule out like scary shit first. I called the center that I go to, the spine center that I go to. The soonest they could get me in was October 2nd, which at the time was 2 weeks away. And that scared me because I was on methylprednisone. I was on like 4 different things from the emergency room. And I knew that when that stuff ran out, I could be back in pain, and I didn't want to be doing that again. Also, we have kids and like lives, and he travels, and like we got a lot of moving parts in our life. So like me being down and alone, not helpful. So when I got my MRI done, one of my best friends came down and took me because Jeremy's out of town. And it was just one of those like, we're human beings. This is not ideal. When I scheduled the appointment, they told me 2 weeks. That made me nervous. So then I waited 2 days because they were gonna like try to put me on like a wait list or whatever in case somebody got canceled. That wound up not happening. So I called 2 days later, I called my primary, and I was like, which is again, another like center with multiple doctors. And I wanted to change our doctor anyway. I got lucky in that the doctor I wanted to go to had availability that morning. So I actually got to go in that day. I had her order me an MRI, and then she took a look at me, not knowing my medical history, and did the thing that a lot of doctors do, especially when you're young, which is, it's not that. She'd say, I don't know, I'll try to order you an MRI. She does the shit that they always do, and it drives me mental. The amount that you have to advocate for yourself and the level, like I hate having to like be a dick. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, we don't need to be doing that. And the fact that I'm so sorry if you can hear beeping. We're getting our driveway worked on, and today's like a concrete day. So I apologize. But she kind of gives me a little bit of shit. And I actually had my friend take me to the doctor that day. And my friend goes to that doctor, and she's been going to her for like 20 years or something. And she was like, no, something's up. Like, she's not only like this. I was like, good, because like, I wouldn't go back to her. So she winds up writing me a prescription and then orders me the MRI. I book the MRI. So I have my doctor's appointment on the Wednesday. I had my MRI done the following Monday night. Had the results Tuesday morning. Had them sent off Tuesday afternoon to my spine center, to the doctor I saw on, at the 2 week mark. And then I went and had that appointment. So that catches us up to now. I have learned that I herniated and tore my L3, L4. Couldn't tell you how I did it. I don't know. He says 80% of people don't know how they herniate their discs. But the good news is, because I reacted well to methylprednisone, I never had a positive reaction the last time. So the good news is with that is, okay, we may not need surgery, right? Which, let me tell you, that recovery, I will say this till I'm blue in the face, that recovery sucks. I do not, if I'll have to have one, I'll have one, but I would like to avoid one. So he put me on a new medicine, which is like a really powerful anti-inflammatory, and I have to cycle it. So I have to do like a 5-day on, 2-day off, 5-day on, 2-day off. And then that'll be for the month of October, basically. And then we're also playing a time game. So what he told me was, you have to view this essentially in blocks of 3 months. The first 3 months, which I'm in now, is the toughest in that I'm down. We're not going to do any kind of weights. We're going to do body weight. We're going to do tightening. We're not going to do any sort of like, bending, stretching. He's like, don't do yoga. Don't do, which is what I was doing, thinking I was helping. He's like, just don't. Like, if it load bears your spine, don't do it. He's like, you want to get to a line in the sand. He's like, I would draw it at the 3-month mark. And if you feel okay at that point, then you can start to like, you can get back on the bike. You could probably do some Pilates, just be careful. Just be careful and wait, you know? So like, don't go, because, and this is, Jeremy knows me. He's like, don't do it every single day. You know, you start with one thing, see how it goes, take the next day off, see how you feel. You do another one, you know, you pace that shit. Because I've said this in so many videos at this point, like I get in my own way. I am very goal oriented. I am very like momentum, forward motion driven. I like to make progress. It is my most favorite thing in the world. So I don't get to do that physically for the rest of the year. Now, how that ties into all of the content that I've been producing about my health and my wellness and nutrition, all of that, let's talk about that because I think that's really important. Firstly, with nutrition, I've said this in so many times, but like protein is king, followed by hydration, followed by fat, followed by fermented foods, digestive enzymes, that kind of stuff. So every single day, my goal is always to hit a certain number of grams of protein. Right now, I'm averaging maybe 150, which is more than I weigh. So the rule of thumb is a gram for every pound that you weigh. Because I wasn't eating enough protein for a while, that's why I've like phased off the tirzepatide, I have been trying to eat more just to kind of help, you know, and especially right now with my back, I want to help my back and like I want to protect my muscles, right? So protein's king, followed by hydration because your body is primarily water. Then followed by fat because that's how everything works. And then followed by, I want the fermented stuff because I want the good gut bacteria, especially with being on meds. This now takes me to fasting because I talk a lot about fasting. I'm a very big fan of fasting. It has made a massive, massive, massive difference for me. I credit it with a lot. How am I going to handle fasting on meds? So the medicine that I'm on right now, that's like a cycling, the 5 days that I'm on it, I have to take it with food. So I couldn't do more than a 24-hour fast. And that's probably not great anyway because it's harder on your stomach. And she was like, one of the side effects is like if you're, you know, you go to the bathroom and the color of it's different, like black or red because it's blood. So I'm not really wanting to play that game, you know? So I figured I'll stick to like a 13 to 18 hour window during those days. And then on the days I don't take it, I could do a 24 to a 36 and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to hit a 72-hour fast, but you know what? That's okay. 72 is more for musculoskeletal, 36 is more for fat burning. So from the perspective of being down, I think it's smarter that I do a 36-hour or 24 to 36-hour fast more frequently. That's the hand I'm being dealt on that one. I'm just going to play it as best I can. I don't want to make stupid decisions. I don't want to put myself in a worse spot. Then that takes me to overall mobility. If you're new to my channel, I am, this is October. I am gearing up for the most wonderful time of the year. I am a very hardcore Christmas person, and that means I'm gonna need some help. I go really hard at Christmas. I spend a solid 2 weeks on Christmas, and that's when I can and when I don't have physical restrictions on me. So I've already hit up 2 of my best friends to see if they could help with the week that I want to do it. It might be a little rough. That's the thing, it's just life, right? Everybody's got lives. So I'm going to expand the network and see if like, hey, has anybody ever wanted to help me decorate for Christmas? Because this would be the year to do it. Pull everything down early so I have more time to do it. I've got the girls going to help me, thank God. I already told them last night, like, hey, I need you to help me out with Christmas. You just modify everything. In terms of my current mobility, what I notice is every day's a little different. I'm still really fresh when it comes to like the damage. So sometimes I just need to lay down for a long time. Sometimes I am actually pretty good. I'm clocking about 5,000 steps a day right now, which isn't hard for me to do. Like if I do a couple loads of laundry, I make dinner, I let my dogs out a bunch of times, and like that's pretty much 5,000 steps a day in my house. So, it's reasonable. I told my doctor that and he was like, cool. So that's not me gardening. That's not me planting that's not me doing anything really outside. But that actually brings me to another point with gardening. So I normally would be starting seeds right now because we're entering what is like effectively like a Midwest summer for us, where it gets out of the 90s and it gets into like the high 80s, and things will actually it's great for seed germination, like ideal temperature for that. but things do really well, especially as the temperature starts to drop. We tend to not get much lower than mid 60s until January. What's my temperature today is high of 92. We're in October. So normally for me, I would be starting a bunch of seeds. I would be planting my whatevers I wanted to plant in the courtyard gardens and some of the walkways around the property. I'm not doing any of that. So I'm hopeful that I planted like 6,000 tulips last year. And I put 50 roses in this year. Bare root from David Austin. I did a bunch of stuff last year, and I'm just gonna go, hey, let's see how it works. Let's see like if anything comes back this year. Like it's gonna be the grand experiment. Nothing can outrank my back, you know? So that's sort of a bit of a high level overview of the specific things that I can't do. Content wise, I don't think you're gonna see a ton shift just because the season of year that we're going into, I do a lot of holiday content anyway. I'm not doing Vlogmas this year because I don't think it's worth it, quite frankly, for my channel. But I am doing a ton of content. You will definitely get daily content. Don't worry. I'm doing like some insane amount of gift guides. Like it's a whole ass thing. All that to say, I don't necessarily foresee, unless my back takes me out, I don't see any massive changes there. I will need help. So I'm gonna start doing some stuff in the background to get hands on deck, to get things delegated, to just buy me some time in case I need to go down again, to, you know what I mean? Just to set me up for some success, really, is what it is. I need to make sure that I'm gonna be okay. But yeah, so that's about where we are on that. My fingers are crossed that I can get through the rest of the year without any more damage. I miss being able to move, is really what it is. And I would love to be able to like move my body and like exercise again. That really sucks. That's like, it's gotta be one of the hardest things. But you know, I've been here before. I will be here again. I need to take this stuff seriously. So I always say that I hope these videos are helpful. And I think the thing that I think about a lot in this category is how young I am for how bad my back is. I don't necessarily like talking about this stuff because it's just it's a bummer to live with. I mean, it just is. It just sucks to live with. But at the same time, I know how hard it was to get taken seriously the first time. And I know how like I will just straight up yell at you if I need to. And I did today. I did this year. I was like, no, I know I am not going back. I had like trauma from that shit. Like I'm not doing that again. So I think my hope with this and with all of my kind of health and wellness content in general is that it makes you feel less alone, and it doesn't make you feel like, I don't want you to feel like a failure, because I know that that's definitely what I was going through the first time, where it's just like, how the hell did this even happen to me? So ultimately, my effort in being an open book is to hopefully help others feel less alone or less, you know, just isolated and down about it. Like, cause it just sucks. It just sucks. Back pain is the worst. Back pain and like tooth pain are the worst. So if you're in this boat, I am so sorry. I always say that I'm the ghost of Christmas future, and I will tell everybody to take care of their back. But if nothing else, this will give you a little bit of insight into kind of where I'm at, why I am doing and why I am not doing certain things for the foreseeable amount of time. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank y'all so much for watching. I will see y'all very soon. Bye.